Hey everyone, today we're reviewing the Bluu Mega Backpacking Camping Stove. And so this is actually a Chinese copy of the Jetboil. And so we'll do an unboxing here so you can see how it looks. Now at a first look, this is the 1.6 liter version. It retails for $59.99 on Amazon. And it seems to be packaged pretty well from looking at it. And you can see there are some instructions here that don't say too much. Probably just says something like don't use indoors and et cetera, et cetera. So not too much good stuff here. We'll put that away. And we'll try to open up this lid here. Now this is actually locked, and you can see I can't quite figure out how to open it. And then I see that there's a latch, there's a button, and you depress it down. And so the lid that comes up is pretty easy to put on and off. You can see it also comes with a canister holder, a pot holder, and also the igniter itself. Now, one thing to note about this particular Chinese copy is that it is a little bit bigger than the Jetboil itself. The material quality seems to be low level type of plastic. But it seems pretty sturdy overall, and you can see how all these parts here kind of come together. So we'll take this canister holder, we'll fold it out. This canister holder works pretty similarly to the one that Jetboil has, just a piece of plastic that you snap on to the butane canister itself, and so that's pretty easy to use. And then the lid functions pretty much exactly the same. You can go ahead and screw that onto the canister. Now, what I like about this one is that it works pretty much the same as the Jetboil. It has a igniter on the bottom. And so once I actually screw this on, you can turn on the gas, and then you can also press the piezoelectric igniter to ignite it, exactly the same way as the larger Jetboils work. So that's a pretty nice feature that comes with this one. Some of the smaller Jetboils don't come with an igniter, and you have to use a lighter or carry some type of match to ignite it. So that's a pretty nice feature that they decided to include in this. Now, what you notice here is that it's actually a little difficult to get on to the threads here. It takes a little bit of finesse to actually get it onto the threads. But once it's on, you'll see that it ignites pretty easily. And you can see I ignite that fairly quickly there. And so you can see here that it generates a pretty strong flame right from the beginning. And so using this to heat up the water versus a Jetboil works pretty much the same. And you can see here, once I put it on here, there's actually a little notch, very similar to how the Jetboils work, and you can actually lock that in place. Now, what's nice about this one is it's actually the 1.6 liter version, and so you can boil a significant amount of water compared to some of the other systems. Now, one thing that's also pretty nice about this is that when you have it fully assembled, you can also put it directly into the pot. So you don't have to take anything apart. You can just put it in and put in the canister holder and close up the lid. So that's pretty nice. When you're backpacking, you don't want to take anything apart. Everything fits in there pretty nicely. Now, one thing that won't fit in there is the pot holder. I tried to play around and get that pot holder in there. It just wouldn't fit in any shape or orientation. So if you're just using the Jetboil here, not an issue. So I've actually got a Jetboil with me, and we'll compare this Bluu camping stove with the Jetboil. Now, what you can see on the bottom here is that the fins are pretty much similar to what the Jetboil has. You can see they're much more dense on the Jetboil, and you can see the metal itself is also much more thicker on the Jetboil versus the Bluu stove. But you can also see the size difference as well too. The Bluu is much more larger than this Jetboil. And so if you're looking for a budget version of the Jetboil, I take a look at this Bluu camping stove. I think it's a pretty good alternative.